Welcome to a new episode of Talking Area 51. I am your host, 51 Spade. If you're new to the channel, you like what's going on, you like what you've been seeing, hey, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, help the community grow. I'm here for y'all. And the first thing that we're going to be talking about is what came out on Friday. You know, I always want to give y'all the scoop on new music. Now, unfortunately for this Friday, wasn't a bunch of things that came out that I was actually listening to, but I still wanted to address the albums that I was listening to. So we're going to start off with the very first one, known as G Herbo. G Herbo dropped a new album called Lil Herb. And ironically enough, he has dropped an extended version of it that actually came out today. So I want to give a round of applause to that. And I'm gonna go ahead and go say, like, I'm not the biggest fan of G Herbo. To me, he has songs that I've liked in the past, but I'll say that he's kind of been like a hit or miss type of person for me. But on this particular project, I will say that I was kind of impressed by it. Is on the top part of it is real drill driven, and if you do like the drill music scene and like the things that's going on, like I said, he's not one of my particular favorite Chicago artists. He's been more of hit or miss for me, but on this one I was impressed by. It was drill heavy on the beginning part, but in the back end of it, it was more hit driven. I think he's given more of an homage to the accomplishments that he's made throughout his rap career, just showing that he's here to stay. He's definitely made a bunch of adjustments, and on top of that, continuing to grind and show his growth and wanting to share it with the world. And I have to applaud that because, you know, listening to his older style in this one, I definitely will say, like, I like the trajectory that he's going in. And some of the features on here, I was actually shocked by. We're going to start off with one, Emergency, with Wyclef Jean and Turbo the Great. It is the 911, someone called 911. And I was like, damn, you know, I actually liked his spin on it. He does have a song on here with Jeremih. That's another feature with Whatever You Want. Anderson Paak. If y'all know me, I love Anderson Paak. Anderson Paak, it's like when you do a song with him, he gives you a hit. It's like automatic, like right there. And all the way around, I will say that he had songs on here that was good. Besides those features, he's pretty much holding it down. Not mad at the album. I haven't listened to the extended one today, extended version. The extended version did come out today, giving you 18 more songs. So it does have a different cover. That's the cover right there. Doesn't look like this anymore. It's just the bonus songs, 3 more bonus songs on there. So you can definitely go check that out. And like I said, all the way around, it's a nice solid project. And like I said, more if you like the drill scene of it, you'll definitely like G Herbo. But I can see his growth, and I'm not mad at the album. Not mad at the album. So let's move on to the next one. Now, the next album we're going to be checking out is Bun B and Cory, Mo Trill. Now, I must admit, I am definitely a UGK fan, man. I love Bun B. I love Pimp C. And I'm real happy that the OGs are making songs and they out releasing albums. There's been this narrative that goes around that it's like it's a young man's game. Man, that is far from the truth. And to be perfectly honest, you need seasoned rappers to kind of show the younger rappers and the younger generation what substance actually sound like. So I did take interest in listening to this, because especially I'm a big Bun B UGK fan. Rest in peace to Pimp C. Damn, I miss you, man. But Cory Mo is a producer on this. I know nowadays a lot of people are not really familiar with a lot of producers unless they have the tag on there. Cory Mo would help shape the sound of a lot of UGK sound back in the days. Not everything, because Pimp did a lot of stuff for him, but he was one of the contributing factors, and he's giving it that Houston H-Town sound. This is a very heavy featured album, kind of like almost like a Dr. Dre with a bunch of features on there. So we're gonna go off on some of the features. The opening track itself, I was excited for it, because you're starting off with Bun B 8 Ball, MJG, and Jazzy Fade. That is the opening track called There You Go. Features Cory, Mo. And then we're going to go into the next track, which is featuring Pimp C. Pimp C is actually just on the hook itself. You're not getting a verse. I was hoping for a verse, man, but you're not getting a verse out of that. So he's just on the featured, why am I just losing my train of thought right there? He is on the chorus, but you do get Juicy J and his brother Project Pata, and that track I actually did like that track. Also you have features by La Russell on here. You have Manolo and Scotty ATL. More features on here is considered to be considered as far as having Young Dro on here and Killer Kelly on. You have 24 Hours as a feature, Akeem Ali. You have Woody Wood on here, Zero, and Chico Beans. You also have the legendary Baller, James Worthy, and Scar. It's only 10 songs on here. Like I said, this is, if you're a big UGK fan, you'll definitely like this. He stays in the pocket of what UGK actually does. You know, Bun B is a lyricist, so he actually is rapping his thing, doing his style, not changing up anything. And it's giving the old H-Town sound that I actually do like. It's a decent, solid album. I think you can, I think you'll definitely like checking it out. It is like I said, if you're a UGK fan, hey, this is a solid project to listen to. It's one of those things where you can't have your expectations too high because it's Bun B. I feel like just giving the world just more Bun B of him. I think like if Pimp was alive and they was able to give you a UGK album and he would be in a different space, you would get a real good, excellent project. But I think, you know, his missing counterpart is gone. And but I think he still has the passion to rap, you know, and because that doesn't really go anywhere. And I think that's what he's actually showing you on this project. So it is worth checking out. Like I said, it's a solid project. So go ahead and check that out. And we're going to move on to the next one. On the R&B side, we have Bjornick, A Girl Like Me. Like I said, this is on the R&B side. This was a solid project. Not no features on here. It was someone that I did discover. I was actually listening to this album and trying to get a review on it. What I will say about it's a solid album. What I will say is like now what the back and forth on people saying is R&B still alive, this and that. I think a lot of things with these newer artists is I believe in their own right, they're trying to show their creativity. But my mom was actually in the car and a lot of the R&B now that when I'm listening to it, she's like, damn, everybody curses now. And I guess because I'm so used to listening to rap and R&B, this and that, they all blend together for me, but I wasn't really thinking about it until she said it. And I was like, damn, you know, she is kind of graphic on some of the songs. She will say nigga, she will say bitch. And I think a lot of the younger generations, now she is from Chicago and moved out to LA. And this is actually her last name, Bjornick. Because I actually haven't had for one, if you look at the name, I was like, I don't even know how to say that. So I did go look her up and check her out. And she said that her dad is Mexican and German, and that is actually her last name. She is real talented. I did like the songwriting. My only knock on it would be that a lot of her R&B sound, she sounds like the rest of the R&B that's out, so I would want her to dig a little deeper to give more, just to give more, so it could sound a lot more different. But I think her pen writing skills is good. I think it is a good solid album. I would suggest y'all checking it out. She does have a single called Crazy. I'm gonna leave that right there. Y'all go check that out on your own. You kind of see what it is, because she is, hey, she's a beautiful young woman, but she's rough around the edges. But sometimes men, hey, we like that. So it is what it is. So yeah, go check out Bjornick. It is a solid album to check out. And that's all I was really checking out as far as like albums that came out Friday. It wasn't really a lot, so I was just, checking those things out. But I did want to touch on this subject, the Grammy nominations. The Grammy nominations for Best Rap Album. I mean, you already know what's on this list that I think is going to win, but you never know because the Grammys are what they are. It is for the 68th annual Grammy Awards, and who's nominated is Glorilla. Now, I know a lot of y'all is like Glorilla, but Glorilla been doing her thing as far as like albums that's been out there, so I'm not really mad at that. G by Kendrick Lamar. I thought Kendrick, this was probably I need to check out the time frame of when it actually ends, because I know Kendrick's came out at the end of 2024. I was actually shocked he was still in the nominees for this, but I digress. You have Jid, God Does Like Ugly, Cornucopia by Tyler Creator, and Let God Sort 'Em Out, the Clips, Pusha T and Malice. Now, if you ask me who I think should win this, is Let God Sort 'Em Out. That album was phenomenal. There's no doubt to me. Like right now, if you forgot, go listen to Let God Sort 'Em Out. This is like a classic album, man. Like I remember popping this in with the being reunited with Pharrell and then the return of Malice. This was a big thing in hip hop, man. They hadn't did an album together in like almost 14 years. So when I'm listening to this album and just how good it sounded, and the rollout, and it was just like a regular rollout, but just to show artists now what you're supposed to do, because a lot of people was like they impressed by the rollout. It wasn't anything impressed about the rollout. It was just a regular rollout that the artists now just don't do. So it's a classic album. I'm expecting that to actually win. And then we're gonna talk about Cornucopia, man. Tyler the Creator, man. I must say that for the last couple of years or so, Tyler has definitely been impressing me. And Tyler's a top rapper. He has substance on a lot of his album. Now, of course, he did drop his I want to say like an alternative rap type of project with Don't Tap the Glass. It isn't used to his regular thing that he normally does. But this Cornucopia, this album was fire. I liked it. This album, he had a lot of substance. He dug into his soul. He told a lot of things that was going on in his life. And he always, he bears his soul on this. So I actually did like this album. So, I mean, these are the nominees. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all tell me who y'all think is going to win. I mean, hey, it is politics a lot of time with the Grammy, so you never do know. So, yeah, you want to go check that out. Let's move on to the next thing before I get up out of here. Let's talk about, for the first time in 35 years, the Billboard Top 40 has no hip-hop or rap songs on there. Now, do we really care about not having hip-hop on there? Be honest with you, I don't. I've been the type of person, like, even when I came up, a lot of the rappers that I listen to, like Scarface, Ice Cube, NWA, they weren't on these billboards. Hip hop is kind of one of those things like word of mouth that they're not going to be on the top billboard. And I think when it became more commercialized, that for those people who actually care, that's fine. But when you think about the billboard, man, it's only like 6 rappers that's actually on there. They mainstream rappers. They're the mainstream rappers that a lot of white people know. They sell out the shows. You got your Drakes, your Kendricks. Like, Drake hasn't dropped the album, so of course, and they've had changes in the Billboard where they have new rules on there. So Luther was on there for some weeks. If they didn't do the rule change, Kendrick would still be on there. If Drake drops something, it'll still be on. But that's my issue with it. It's like, the reason I made this channel, even talking about the new music that came out or that comes out, is because there's a lot of rappers and a lot of projects that come out that we don't know about. Even when you looked at magazines like The Source and XXL, you had 106 in Park back in the day. You had the Countdown on for Yo MTV Raps. There was, on Yo MTV Raps, they had a mixture where they put in a lot of different things, but for the most part, it was like 10 rappers in rotation on the XXL magazine, in the Source magazine, and it rotated around. XXL started doing like the freshman class, but that's probably about the closest that you would come to being introduced to a new artist. So do we really care about the top billboards and rap not being on rap? First of all, hip hop is not just rap. So let's just be very, very clear about that. Hip hop is not just rap, and rap is not going anywhere. If you dig a little deeper, this is propaganda of just the narrative that they want to push. Of course, they want to make their money and stuff like that. But do we really give a fuck about any of that? No, man. I find hip hop all the time without the help of billboards at all. Some of the top things that I've listened to, even some of the things that came out this year, are not on the bill or not on the top billboards of albums that I even listen to. So it's not a knock, so don't fall for this propaganda, but I did want to address it because people was asking me what was my thoughts about it. I'm like, it's just propaganda. Hip hop is still going strong. They got more people making more albums right now. Look at Nas right now, just releasing projects as far as like Rakim, he has his mass appeals like dropping Slick Rick, Raheem. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but the old school artists, Ghostface, they are dropping things. Ice Cube just dropped a project, even featuring Scarface. So these things do not disrupt like what's going on. A lot of the rappers from the 80s right now are on tour. So hip hop is alive and well. So don't fall for the propaganda that's actually going on, because it's not even a thing. So yeah, man, I just wanted to wrap that up. This is your boy 51 Spade, wrapping it up for Talking Area 51. If you're new to the channel, man, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And until next time, man, peace.